Hey, John, I somehow just missed your call. I just wanted to double check with you and give you a chance to talk to Alicia about where we're at and what Anthony's looking at.
They trying to go for 5, but if not anything under 10, they're not trying to make him go beyond that.
Yeah.
Like at the 5 to 40 was scaring me. Like
I was always proud of him, but I just always figured that he was okay, that he was good, you know.
I know I screwed up because, you know, you need that father figure in your life. I know my daughter, she need me, and I don't want me and her to have the same relationship me and my father had. Looking at me in pictures and gotta say, that's my daddy, or come to a visit and, you know, I gotta tell her, daddy's at school when I speak to her on the phone or something, you know? Because I don't want to tell her that I'm in jail.
Watching Anthony's child sleep hundreds of miles from the father she's never met, I could see the painful cycle gripping his family. But I also had to honestly wonder what compelled him to make the choices he did.
You know, it's very interesting. People ask the question, what about personal responsibility?
The only thing you don't do is blame criminals for the crime that they committed. You blame everybody else and everything else.
You know, I wish the answer were that simple, but let's just take a little step back. There are structural impediments. What you see over and over again in urban America are kids who live in a crowded home, who are hungry when they go to school, who lack attention because they've heard noise and gunshots and other things where they live.
I don't think people fully understand. In the inner city, these kids are making rational choices. I profiled a girl who was like this, a 10-year-old girl. The minute she steps out her front doorway, there are drug dealers out there, no economic opportunity. The school is warehousing her. She doesn't see any prospects. How is she supposed to get out?
At the end of the day, when there's not a lot of resources out here and your teachers aren't stressing you to come to class or not even caring, you know, you're not gonna go to school, you're gonna sell drugs, you're gonna do what you have to do.
To go down to a drug corner in the inner city is the rational act of somebody going to work for the only company that exists in a company town. When that is the only economy that's functioning in certain places in this country, what do we expect?
Beyond the structural barriers that promote drug crime on the street, those arrested soon find themselves in a self-perpetuating cycle from which few ever really escape.
People don't realize, for example, that when you arrest a young black man and he goes to jail, the first thing, when he gets out of the prison, he can't get a job in most places because of his record.
If you have a felony charge, you need to be working. You need to be trying to move yourself forward.
If he wants to go back to school, to go to college, he's ineligible by law for certain grants.
Medical issues, if you have any...
He can't get certain health care benefits. He can't live in certain neighborhoods. His family that was the centerpiece of his life, if they're living in public housing, they can't take him in.
The only people who deserve to live in public housing are those who live responsibly there.
He can't vote.
Release from prison offers this idea that you're gonna return to some kind of freedom, but in reality, for the rest of your life, you've gotta check that box on employment applications, asking that dreaded question, have you ever been convicted of a felony? It becomes a vicious circle in which people cycle out of their ghetto communities into prison and back.